Everyone here at Chat to hear from you. Take it over.
Thank you so much. Wow, today's so beautiful. I thought I knew you, and then you come and share these nuggets. I'm very excited. I even learned something today. So I like what Melissa did. It's nice to know who you're talking to. So can the fashion designers and enthusiasts raise their hands, please? And then the modelers, I'm sure there's a bunch of modelers. I knew. Okay, fantastic. Thank you guys. And the rest of us is just entrepreneurs and business people. I know there's a fabulous chef here, which is
Chef
great.
Angel, the best in bloom.
Ah,
You need to have lunch there
Yeah.
on Saturday. We're coming
she's
on Saturday.
inviting me.
I'll take Melissa tomorrow.
Okay, fantastic, guys. So my story is very different. I grew up with a learning disorder called dyslexia. So for me, and still today, I can't read or write, which in the beginning of my career and in life, I thought was such a massive disadvantage. And it kind of translated later in life into a major advantage for me, I guess, especially for what I do. So what happened was in school I couldn't read or write, and I thought I was educatable, I think the English is. In Afrikaans they called it onopvoedbaar. And that was something that kind of in the back of my head I heard noise about it. But what I like what Melissa said, and I think something we have in common is our parents and our support structure, which is something that is so important. And if you don't have your own family, it is important to create a family around you with friends and people that you look up to and people that can support you. And my mother always whispered in my ear that I was special. So I grew up thinking, like legit, like not even joking, that I was the most special thing in the world, and I was the most talented, and I was the most beautiful, and I was everything. And that really stuck to me with me, because she always taught me that. And going on with school, I then started developing a few talents. I showed some promise in fashion. I started sewing when I was about 6 years old. I just wanted to sew, and I didn't even know there was such a thing as a fashion designer. I thought I was going to become a seamstress. I heard it on TV, somebody was a seamstress. I was like, well, I want to be a seamstress. And then I kind of started doing a little bit of sewing here and there. What taught me a lot was alterations for people. I used to do alterations. Even in my beginning days as a designer, I offered my services as alteration services for brands like Katie Saw, big international brands that have clothes shipped locally and they needed altered. And through doing that and working with international designers' clothes and altering it, you do pick up a few things. So I think that's very important, is to especially at the beginning of diversifying your career that we spoke about in the beginning. It is something that can get you started and also educate you while it's going. So I started sewing. We went to a sewing school in Rustenburg, because that was where I'm from. It was a Muslim-owned sewing school, and when I got there, they was like, sorry, we're not teaching men this week, it's only for ladies. Can you believe it? And my mother was shocked. So they changed the rules for me. Rules has changed a couple of times for me. I kind of do that. I'm very persistent. I like what Kris Jenner is saying is, if the answer is no, you're speaking to the wrong person. And I kind of like, I thought that was so inspiring, and then that is something that I always think about when somebody tells me no. I'm like, you're probably the wrong person, right? So then what happened was I started sewing classes, and I started a little business in the small town where I grew up on the farm, did alterations for people. Then I started doing a couple of matric dance dresses for free. I was like, I'm practicing, can I make a matric dance dress, please? And that happened. And I started growing a little business there where we realized that school was a challenge for me because I didn't have time for school. Time has also always been a challenge for me. So my parents decided, okay, let's try homeschooling. Maybe then we can get a better switch. So I would do school for maybe 2 hours in the morning, and then the rest of the day was just fashion. When I was about standard 7, standard 8, my parents and I had a conversation, and we decided that school is most probably wasting my time. It's very clear. By then, I was not just shooting from the hip. I was already winning competitions. I entered lots of competitions. And just by the way, guys, I'm a judge every year for the Bernina sew-off
Yes.
competition, and I am always shocked by the prizes that they give away. I'm like, I'm doing this, and you pay me this, and you're giving away that. They give away probably 500,000 rands of machines.
Yeah.
So that is definitely something I would do if I was a student. So students, please enter that competition. It's a very, very good competition, and it's not that hard to win. I think if you're very exceptional, you'll probably win. Okay, cool. So Berlina helped me a lot through my career. I always entered that exact competition that I'm judging now, and by then I was winning every single prize. I had bursaries lined up, I had sewing machines, I had overlockers, I had presses, I had irons. At that page, I had so many vouchers from Berlina, I just bought threads and things with it. So it was kind of like how I built my studio, is through entering competitions, and that's also kind of like how my career started, but I'll get to that. Okay, so then at that point we decided, no, we're dropping out of school. And I do this talk a lot about my life and my dyslexia and my challenges, and I did it in my hometown of Kolstad, and my mother was in the audience, and then the story goes how I'm running Gertjan Pizzeria, the brand, and I only